Hello, lovely yogi. Welcome to Flow with Shreya. I'm Shreya, and today I want to talk to you about some books that have changed my life. I know that seems really intense to say changed my life, but really these books have had a profound impact on my life. They've made me think differently and change some of my perspectives and just helped me on the path of mindfulness and being content in life. So, as with anything that I learn or find that is really helpful to me in my life, I love to share those things with all of you in case they're helpful to you as well. Now, before we get started, I do want to say that I'm a firm believer that not all books are for everyone. Each of us has different experiences, different ways of thinking and learning, so what may resonate with me may not resonate with you, and that's totally fine. Some of the books I'm sharing with you today are pretty easily digestible by most people, and a few of the books may not be for everyone. They're a little bit harder to read, and in fact, the first time I read one of these books, it just went over my mind, and I actually didn't even continue to read beyond the first chapter. But when I came back to it later in life, it really resonated with me. So if you have that same experience, know that you're not alone, and know that at different stages in life, different things might resonate or click with you as well. Of course, these aren't the only books that I have found enjoyable or helpful in life. These are just some of the top ones that come to mind that I want to share. So without further ado, here's the first book, Mindfulness in Plain English. This is a pretty short book, but it is really packed full of really interesting information. It's one of those books that makes you think, asks you questions to ask yourself, and to look within and help you on your mindfulness journey. It really does a great job of explaining what mindfulness is and what it isn't. I actually got this book as part of my yoga teacher training when I first got certified to teach yoga, and it has stuck with me ever since. Whether you're new to mindfulness or whether you just want a different perspective or to dive deeper, this is a great book for you. I'll be linking all the books down below just in case you are interested in checking them out. The next book I want to talk about is I'm So Effing Tired by Dr. Amy Shah. I actually started following Dr. Amy right before she came out with this book on Instagram. So if you don't already follow her, go ahead and give her a follow because she gives you really great information on health and wellness and how to optimize life with nutrition and daily habits. This book has really great information on what things affect our energy and our mindset and just our daily lives. It talks about hormone health, nutrition, and different habits we can incorporate to boost our energy and to stop feeling tired all the time. Now, if you are a parent of a very young child, some of this will be helpful to you, and some of it won't fully take effect until you are getting some good sleep. Just keep that in mind. Speaking of parenting, the next book I want to mention is The Awakened Family by Dr. Shefali. I'm so sorry, the lighting is making it hard to see these books on camera, but remember, I'll link everything down below. But I did want to mention this book because just like Dr. Amy, I do follow Dr. Shefali on Instagram, and you should give her a follow if you're a parent because she has some really great insights that really challenge your mindset and help you think in a different way when it comes to your childhood as well as your life as a parent in your child if you have one. So even if you don't have children, if you plan to, this is a great read. And even if you don't plan to have children, it's still a great read in terms of looking into the past, into your own childhood, and seeing things in a different light that may help you recognize patterns and with self-development now as an adult. I was actually introduced to Dr. Shefali on Oprah's podcast, Super Soul Sunday podcast, and ever since then, I've really dove into her work, and I do apply a lot of these philosophies in my parenting. They really resonate and work really hand in hand with some of the other things we implement in our home, like Montessori and respectful parenting. What she talks about is conscious parenting, and in this book, she gives a lot of examples of different clients of hers, obviously anonymously, that she's encountered, but that can resonate with most of us in our lives. So it's really interesting to see what she tells her clients, and you can kind of take that as advice as if you were going to her as a client, which is really great. So those three books I have hard copies of. Actually, the Awaken Family I got from the library, but I've also read it on the Libby app. If you're not familiar with Libby and Overdrive is an app that you can use with your library, and you can borrow ebooks and audiobooks from it, and I love using that. Speaking of audiobooks, the next few books I've mainly listened to as audiobooks, and I'll actually leave a link down below for you guys as well for Audible. When you start a free trial, you get 2 free books, 2 free audiobooks that you can keep forever, even if you cancel or don't go along with the subscription. And that's kind of what I did. I got 2 of these books for free, and the other book I listened to on the Libby app, like I said. I actually never got into audiobooks before, and I always told myself that, oh, I want to read, but I don't have time and all that kind of stuff. But I used to have a really long commute, 1 hour each way, when I worked an office job 4 years ago. And ever since then, when I was pregnant with my son, is when I actually read some of these books or listened to some of these books on that long commute. And that was a game changer in terms of me and reading. I've gotten through so many books like that, just listening to them, whether it's in the shower, in the car, while doing the dishes, or folding laundry, whatever it is. It's a great time for me to catch up on some of these books. So the next book is The Power of Habit. Power of Habit is one of those books that really opens your eyes to some of the unconscious things and habits that we tend to cultivate over our lifetime. Have you ever tried to change a habit and it's just so hard and you just keep going back to the old ways? There's a reason for that, and The Power of Habit talks to you about the way our brains are wired and the way we can rewire our brains to actually change our habits. One of the great tips I've learned from The Power of Habit that I use all the time is that when I want to create a new habit, I associate it with an existing habit, and this helps it stick and last. So if I tack something on to something that's already a habit, it gives me a better chance of sticking with it and being consistent. There's lots of great nuggets of information about habits, how they're formed, and even how marketing and media can influence our habits and our minds. So give that book a listen or read, because it's one of those that everyone can benefit from, and it's pretty easy to digest. Now, the next 2 books are by the same author, Eckhart Tolle, and I was also introduced to him through Oprah's Super Soul Sunday podcast and dove into his work after that. This is actually one of the books that I read that I just couldn't get past the first chapter when I read it, or when I listened to it years and years ago. But when I came back to it when I was pregnant with my son, it somehow just clicked and made so much more sense to me, and I was able to not only listen to it, but gain so much knowledge and a wealth of information and ways to implement changes in my mindset and life that help me be more mindful and present. The first book is The Power of Now. This book is really about being present, and it really challenges you to think about whether you just think you're being present or whether you're actually being present. And it gives you the answers to all of these questions that you kind of come up with on your journey in mindfulness and learning to be present. And the next book is A New Earth. So if you don't really want to read A New Earth, that series of podcasts on Oprah's Super Soul Sunday with Eckhart Tolle really goes over a lot of information. So that might be more digestible to some. And if you want to dive deeper, you can give this book a listen. I'm currently listening to this for the second time, and I'm relearning things that I wanted to implement, and I'm also discovering new tidbits of information that I might have missed the first time. All of these books are books that you can keep coming back to and extrapolate different bits of information at different points in your life, which I find really fascinating. A New Earth really gives you a perspective into awakening and living a conscious life. It challenges you in so many ways when it comes to the ego. The ego is present in all of us at all times, and how you navigate that is what this book really talks about. What I found really interesting in this book is every time he talks about a concept and you have questions about it, the next thing he does is answer those questions, which is really, really great, because you don't have to go anywhere else to find these answers. Now, I'm not saying you'll find all the answers, but it's kind of set up in this way where it makes you think, it makes you question something, and then it gives you a possible solution. This is one that I found it helps to come back to when I'm going through difficult relationships or difficulties just in life in general, with situations and stressful events coming up, and coming back to how to deal with them. And it gives you ways to check your ego and bring yourself back to the present moment. So you may have noticed all of these books kind of revolve around the theme of consciousness and mindfulness, which really goes hand in hand with yoga and just moving ourselves towards that higher self and inner wisdom. I've personally found so much benefit from these books, and if you decide to check them out, I really hope you do too. Let me know in the comments below which books have been life-changing for you, because I'm always looking to read or listen to more books, and I'd love to know what's been impactful in your life. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me when you share these videos as well, so more people can find them. If you share it on social media, be sure to tag me at Flow with Shreya. If you want more mindfulness tips, check out this playlist right here, or you can practice yoga with me here on YouTube, Vinyasa, Yin, Prenatal, Postnatal, or Relaxing Yoga. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.